Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All Gosha Srila Prabhupada. Welcome devotees to our evening Bhagavad Gita class by Srila Prabhupada. We are going to continue with chapter 1, verses 37 to 39. It's a pretty short class, less than half an hour. So let's hear this amazing class by Srila Prabhupada. And let's have one takeaway from this class so that we can really think about it tonight, what really resonated with us, our realization, and apply it to our lives. Thank you. Haribol.
Yadyapyete na pashyanti Lobo pahata cetasa Kulakshaya kritang dosham Mitra drohe chapatakam Katam nagyeyam asmabhi Papadasma nivartitum Kulakshaya kritang dosham Prapashyad bir janardana Translation. O Janardana, although these men overtaken by greed see no fault in killing one's family or quarreling with friends, why should we, with knowledge of the sin, engage in these acts?
The other party, Duryodhana's party, they were not considering all these pious or impious, sinful or vicious activities. Because Lobha upahata cetasa. They have lost their sense on account of greediness for acquiring the empire. When one becomes lusty or overpowered by greediness, then he loses all intelligence. There are many places stated that Kamasthastha hitavjnana jajanti annadevata. Krishna says that those who are worshippers of other demigods, actually worshipful is the Supreme Lord Krishna. Others, they should be shown respect. But worship means for the Supreme Personality of God. He is worshipful. Saranyam. He is to be taken shelter of, he is to be worshipped. That is being taught. That is religion. Manmana bhavad bhaktam adhyajimang namaskuru. Always thinking of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, worshipping Him, offering obeisances. That is Krishna consciousness movement. The deity room, offering obeisances, worshipping, chanting, dancing, always be engaged to offer respect and submission to the Supreme Personality. This is the duty of everyone. Because all living entities are by constitution eternal servant. That is their healthy position. So long they remain servant of the Supreme, that is healthy. Same example I have given many times, that my part and parcel of the body, this finger, so long it is fit to give service to the body, it is healthy. If it cannot give service, then it is disease. Similarly, all living entities who are not rendering any service to the Lord, they are simply working for sense gratification, that is diseased condition. And in the diseased condition, nobody can be happy. That is not possible. If you have got some disease, you cannot be happy. So that is the position. They cannot understand that by serving Krishna, we become healthy or in our normal position. This is called ignorance. Somebody is trying to forget him, somebody is trying to become equal with him. This business is going on. And nobody is submitting that, my Lord, I forgot my service. From this day I become again your servant. Please give me protection. Sarvadharman parityajya mam. This is the teaching of all Shastra, all Vedas. But these people, the other party, they have become blind. They have become blind. Why? Lobha apahata cetasa. They have lost their sense. Kulakhaya kritang dosam. There is a great fall by destroying dynasty. Nowadays people are destroying from the home. Abortion, contraception, destroying. They do not know. Kulakhayam. Actually, putra means, pu means punnamo narakam. There is a hell which is called pun, nama, narak. And tra means trayate, deliver. So putra means punnamo narakat trayate iti putra. The Sanskrit word for son. Putra means that the son is expected to deliver the forefathers from the Hades condition of life. Sometimes due to our sinful activities, we become ghosts. There is very hellish condition. So when Shraddha is offered by the putra, who will offer? The putra will offer, that is the duty. Then he gets again material body. These are the subtle laws. People do not know, neither they are eager to know, but these are the information we get from Vedic literature. Putra has got a duty to save the forefathers. Therefore, one has to, it is his duty to keep a putra, at least one son he must leave. But people are not very much anxious to have putra, rather to kill putra. They are so sinful. Kama lobha cetasa. Simply sense enjoyment, that's all. Why bharja? Why one should marry? Putrarthe kriyate bharja. Bharja means wife. One accepts a wife. Why? For a putra, for a son. Oh, why son is required? Putra pindam prayojanam. Offering oblation by the putra to deliver the forefathers. That is prayojanam. That is absolutely necessary. Each and every one should leave a putra before his death. He has got so many duties. This is Vedic civilization. But nobody now cares for that, neither it is possible. Therefore the only remedy is to surrender. Sarannam. Devarsi bhutaptu ninang pitrinang nayangarinena kinkara rajan sarvatmana je saranang sarannam gato mukundam parihittukatum. The one excuse is that every one of us, we are indebted to Devarsi, Devata, the demigods. The demigods, just like Indra, he supplies us water. Just like we are obliged to pay tax to the water department, to the fire department, to the education department, so many departments of government. Or once we pay our income tax that is distributed to so many departments. So actually why we pay? Because we are indebted. Now the sunshine, we are getting advantage of sunshine. So we are indebted to the sun god. Similarly, we are indebted to the moon god. We are receiving so much advantages. Varun, Deva. So we are indebted to so many demigods. Similarly, we are indebted to the rishis. Just like Vyasdev, he has given us this Vedic literature. We are taking advantage of it. So, we must feel indebted. Devarsi, Rishi. First of all, we are indebted to the Devatas, and then to the Rishis, then to Bhuta, ordinary living entities. Just like you are taking milk from the cows. We are indebted. No, we are killing them. They are committing simply sinful life and they want to be happy and peaceful. To see. We are indebted. I am obliged to you for your service. So instead of feeling obligation, if I cut your throat, how gentleman I am. Just see. Imagine. So we are indebted. Devarsi bhutapto ninang pitrina. Pitrina, this pitri, kulakha. Forefathers. I have got this body. From my grandfather, my father has got this body. From my father, I have got this body. I am also indebted. Because this body, human body, is a chance for understanding, for my position. I can get out of the clutches of this Maya of transmigrating from one body to another. So this opportunity I have got by the grace of my forefathers. These are feelings of obligation. And there is duty. Therefore, Arjuna is considering so many things because he is devotee. Kulakshaya kritanga dosanga mitra dohi cha papakam. These rascals, they have become lost of their intelligence on account of greediness for acquiring the empire. But so far I am concerned, Arjuna said, Katham na gyam asmabhi, plural number, by us. Us means including Krishna. He is saying not I or by me. He is including Krishna. You are in this side. So, because you are on my side, you are my charioteer, if I do not consider all these things, what people will say? That Arjuna is such a great devotee of Krishna, and Krishna is there, he is committing such sinful activity. Therefore he says, Kathagana gyam asmabhi. He is dragging Krishna also. That is right, yes. A saintly person, a devotee, should consider all these things before acting, whether I am doing it properly or improperly. This is Arjuna. The other party, lobo upahata chetasam, apahata chetasam. They have lost their sense. But we cannot. A devotee must be very responsible. He must act in such a way that nobody can blame him. Otherwise, everyone says, what kind of devotee he is? So, this is the duty. They should be very cautious. Sannyasi, they should be very cautious. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Sannyasir alpo chhidre bahu kori mane. A ordinary grihastha or grihastha only, if he talks with a woman, nobody will blame. He is grihastha. But if a sannyasi talks with a woman very intimately, immediately, people will talk, no doubt. Sannyasir alpo chhidre bahu kori mane. That is the practice. he should be very cautious. So a devotee, a sannyasi, they have got very, very great responsibility. Now, people will very easily criticize them. So Arjuna is considering all these points. Kathagana keyam asmabhi papad asman nivartitum. They may indulge in these sinful activities. How we can indulge? What people will say? Kulakshaya kritanga dushang prapassad bhi janardana. Hey janardana. You are maintainer of the people. So if people become sinful, though it is very difficult to maintain them, these things have been constant. Kulakshaya. So we cannot destroy family. But on one condition we can become free from all this obligation. What is that? Gato sarannam parihuttu kattam. Saranam. Mukunda charan. One who has dedicated his life simply to serve Mukunda, Krishna. Mukunda. Muk means mukti, liberation. And Ananda. Krishna gives liberation. His name is Govinda, Mukunda. Hundreds and thousands of names Krishna has got. So, if one has taken fully surrendering unto the lotus feet of Mukunda, he has no more any obligation. Either this Pitri, Devarsi, Deva, Devata, demigod, Rishi, Bhuta, he is immune because he is transcendental. But so long one is not a devotee, one who is not fully surrendered to the lotus feet of Mukunda, he must have to follow all these regulatory principles and duties. He cannot be released. Everything account is kept. Prakrite kriyamana niguni karmani sarvasa. Everything is noted down. Karmana daivanetrena. According to his karma he is going to get another body. These are the subtle laws. Therefore, kulakshang dosham. You cannot destroy your family. Materially, you cannot destroy your family. So, Arjuna is speaking, kulakshayam kritanga dosham prapassad bhijananda. We can see, these rascals, they have lost their intelligence. But when we see how we can destroy the family, the further explanation is given. Next.
Translation. With the destruction of dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of the family becomes involved in irreligious practice.
So much responsibility is there, killing the family. Because they have no responsibility at the present moment, everyone irreligious. Two things are there, religion and irreligion. Krishna also says, jada jada hi dharmasya glani bhavati abhutthanam adharmasya. If we cannot keep on religious principles, then we have to do something, then we have to enhance our irreligious principles. So this family tradition, according to Vedic civilization, was very strictly observed so that the family may be kept in order in religious principles. Why? Now, because the human life is meant for reviving his eternal position. Sanatana, which word is used here. Kuladharma Sanatana. The real purpose of life, especially human life, is meant for reviving our Sanatan Dharma, Sanatan occupation, eternal occupation. By observing the rules and regulation of Varnashram Dharma, 4 Varnas and 4 Ashrama, that is called Kula Dharma. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha and Sannyas. Each one of them must strictly observe the rules and regulation of that particular ashram. Why it should be observed so strictly? Because by observing the regulative principle of each stages of life, one will be able to please the Supreme Personality of God. Varnasamacharvata purushena parapuman Vishnu aradhate nanna tattva sukaranam. If we observe strictly the rules and regulation of Kula Dharma means if you are a Brahmana, you must observe the regulative principles, the qualitative principles of a Brahman. If you are in a Kshatriya, then you must also observe the Kshatriya principles. All these are described in the Bhagavad Gita. Who is Brahmana, who is Kshatriya, by symptoms. By symptoms we have to accept whether one is Brahman or Kshatriya or Vaishya, not by birth. That is the injunction of the Shastra. So, this has to be observed. If we want actually deliverance from this material entanglement, so these rules and regulation of Kula Dharma, we must observe. If we do not observe, then immediately we become irreligious. Dharme nasti kritam kristam adharma abhibhavati iti uto. Uto, Arjuna said, it is said, he has learned from higher authorities. Uto, it is said means said by authorities. So, if adharma, irreligious life, is propagated on account of loss of Kula Dharma, then everything is lost. Hare Krishna. So, why shall I kill? Other things also will be described later on, that when the male members are killed, the female members become widow and their character becomes polluted. So many things Krishna will speak about this family life. So at the present moment there is no such family life, no consideration of religion, no consideration of irreligious life, everything just like animals. Kalau Shudra Sambhava, if not animals, they are all Shudras, nobody Brahmana, nobody Kshatriya, nobody Vaishya. So it is a chaotic condition of the human society, therefore it cannot be revived to the original position of systematic, institutional position. It is not possible, everything is lost. Therefore, by the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's grace, one thing, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam, kalau nasti eva gatirannatha. Everything is lost. Now, simply by chanting Hare Nama, the holy name of Lord Krishna, you become again situated in the original position. Everything is adjusted because it is transcendental. So there is no other way. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so merciful that from the Shastras he has selected this process of Sankirtan movement, Cheta Darpana Marjanam, Bhava Mahadavagni Nirbhav. The human life is meant for extinguishing the blazing fire of material existence. But we are not in regulative principles. We have lost everything, our Sanatana Kula Dharma, everything. Under these circumstances, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives us the greatest facility according to Shastra. That is the boon of this age. Kirtanadeva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Paramba. Simply by chanting the holy name of Krishna, everyone becomes freed from all contamination of this age. Mukta Sangha Parang Vrajet. And he becomes so purified that he becomes fit to go back to home, back to Godhead. This opportunity, chanting of Hare Krishna mantra, we should not miss. We must. Where is the difficulty? Hare Krishna chanting. Kirtaniya sadahari, tinadapi sunichena, tarorapi sahisnala. This is the only savior for the human society of this age. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Amazing class by Srila Prabhupada. Amazing points. He covered three verses in this 25-minute lecture. And only Srila Prabhupada can do that. I don't know of anyone else that can do this amazing feat. So I would like to ask devotees, if you have taken at least one takeaway from this class that you can share, you can either unmute yourself and speak, or you can put it on the chat and I'll be happy to read it. So, and please go ahead and do so if anyone would like to share something. A takeaway, a reflection, a realization. None. Okay, well, I can go. Let me see. I'm looking for my notes here because I jotted.
There's some that I can talk about. But
okay, go ahead.
Just...
And then after you, we'll go to Nitya Gopal.
Okay. If you want to start, Nitya Gopal can start. That's fine.
Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Wonderful class. Yeah, Dandavat Pranam to everyone.
Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Jai Srila Prabhupada. Yeah, Prabhupada, in the earlier part of the lecture, Prabhupada mentioned the importance of the Varnashram Dharma, like family. What is the purpose being choosing the Grahasthashram? What Shastra says, then what we suppose, how we have to have the guidelines in the family, like Putra relieves the father from the Putra hellish planet. But later on, Srila Prabhupada says that who takes the devotional service and surrenders for him don't have to follow any of that rules. So that is the my point. Like when we sincerely take a shelter and do the devotional service, then all these rules for the Vaishnava, that rules are not applied. Yeah, that was my takeaway. Thank you.
Thank you so much. In fact, that was one of my that's also my same takeaway, Nitya Gopal. How initially how it's amazing how Prabhupada talks about the culture, the tradition, and the ritual, but then at the end he just completely smashes it.
Right.
Completely smashes it, and then brings it down to Krishna consciousness. It's like, wow, it's like a bang on the head, but yes, very, very powerful. And also after that point, what I like Srila Prabhupada said is, one who does devotional service is very healthy. I like that point he said too. So yeah, it's like, it's beautiful. Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you. Very, very nice point. Thank you so much, Nitya Gopal. Haribol. Go ahead. Prakshit can do it. My husband. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Peace is up on obeisance. It's all glory to the Prabhupada. Yes, first thing that Nitya Gopal Prabhu talked about was also something that I made note of. Sri Prabhupada also talked about when someone becomes a ghost, it's a very hellish condition. When he was talking about Putra, the son means he's supposed to deliver the family from hellish condition. Then he mentioned that example, that ghosts lived a very hellish condition. But he also said many times, he talked about, we are obliged to pay tax to the government, and that's distributed to various departments. In the same way, we are also indebted to demigods because they supply life necessities. And he says we're indebted to rishis, we're indebted to forefathers, because it's through our family that we got this material human type body, which is an escape body, with intelligence where we can understand Krishna. But after saying all of that, he says, but the devotee who's surrendered to the lotus feet of Mukunda, Krishna the liberator, is not indebted to demigods and forefathers. So the real purpose of life is to revive our eternal occupation. So he said if religion is propagated, then everything will be lost. But that's going to come more in the next, he mentioned it's going to come in the next text, which is text 40. So he'll talk more about what happens when the religion is predominant. But he said there's no violence. Society is in chaotic condition. So by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's grace, chanting the holy name, one can become situated in the best condition. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, amazing point. Yes, thank you so much. Absolutely. That it's a lot of, very deep yet simple instructions here by Srila Prabhupada. How he really, brings it all down to devotional service. In fact, he also said a devotee must be very responsible. That's one of my takeaways. Because he says if you're not responsible, will be criticized. As I was like, whoa. So he was saying how being responsible is one of the is also very important in a devotee's life, not just following the rules, but being very responsible. And he mentioned it twice actually in this lecture, that responsibility is very important. What I took from that is a devotee must be responsible also means that one has to be very disciplined. It takes discipline to be responsible. So we had, so that was a very strong point for me too, was that. Yeah, thank you. Very nice.
I can add maybe one more.
Yes, please.
To this, that
yes,
he started describing the situation in the world and who are we indebted to, and then in the end he brought it down to the Krishna conscious activity, chanting the holy name Harinam. One can be in the best condition. Not only that, it says human life is for extinguishing the blazing forest fire. This world, a lot of things are spoiled now, but there's a boon. By chanting the holy name of Krishna, one can become purified and then go back home, back to Godhead. Then he said, we must not miss this chanting. We must not miss this chanting. That is the way for saving human society. So that were some of the things that I noted, but you made a point about how Srila Prabhupada describes these situations and then in the end brings it back to Krishna consciousness. And when you said that, I started thinking about how Krishna also describes so many things in answer to Arjuna's questions. And, the spiritual situation in the Bhagavad Gita itself, and his position, the position of a living entity, nature, time, and so on. And in the end, what did he say? I've described all of these type of yogas. Just surrender to me, think about me, become my devotee, offer obeisances to worship me. Just abandon all varieties of religion and surrender to me. So Krishna also summarized and says, just surrender to me. And that's what it takes. That's what it takes. So Krishna also summarized it wonderfully in the Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna.
Good comparison, actually. Yes, it's so true, so true. 17 chapters, he addresses every single thing, and the end he just smashes it. Just surrender, nothing to worry about. Just go back to yoga, finish, done. Amazing. Thank you for sharing that.
Hare Krishna.
Any other takeaways from devotees? Any reflections, realization, takeaways that you would like to share? Yes, Saurabh, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Dandavad Pranam.
Sure,
Can you hear me?
Yes, very clear.
Yes, we can hear you.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yay.
Yeah. So Yeah, I got the same point that we have to be very responsible in our actions, because when we are staying in outside community, or when people are looking at us, uh, like they might not look at good qualities, but they will immediately point at something bad that you did, you know some faults that you have. Like, they will just immediately point out that thing, and they will say, like, I won't take Harinam. That it will be like, you just you just preached, or you just misdirected that person. You won't take Harinam at some point. If looking at you, he was going to take Harinam later on in life, and then you do something wrong. He just says, I'm not going to do this. Say, like it's similar to, like, kids looking at parents or teachers, and like, all good things, kids won't look at that. when they when and you do anything wrong, kids will immediately point out that thing. So yeah, that was my takeaway.
Absolutely, because um, I was remembering a class this morning. If we remember, I remember Mother Gita was mentioning, as as followers of Srila Prabhupada and disciples of spiritual master, how we have to be very responsible in our character, because when we become a disciple, we reflect our spiritual master. So, because like you were saying, right? Like, whenever we see a child being naughty or whatever, the first thing we'll ask is, who's the parents? We don't go chastise, who are the parents, where are the parents, why is this kid running around, and the parents not going to. So we go by the parents. So I was remembering Mother Gita's point this morning as you were speaking, showed up, that as followers of Srila Prabhupada and as disciples, we really have to be very careful in our behavior, our mood, our character, our responsibility, everything, because we are representing our spiritual master. So that was one point that came to my mind as you were speaking. Very good point, Saurabh. Thank you for bringing that up. Very nice. Any other points from devotees? Okay, if there isn't, we thank you all so much for joining us. Like I said, lectures from Srila Prabhupada, it's so powerful. It's like hearing from our grandfather. I mean, he is our spiritual grandfather. So it's very important that we make time to hear the classes, especially if it's just on Zoom. It's not like we have to drive to the temple. We can just push a button and it comes on like magic, as they say. So please do join us again. And tomorrow morning we will continue with Srimad Bhagavatam class with a very senior disciple of Satsrup Maharaj, Hariyashwar Prabhu. So please do join us tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Until then, thank you all for joining us. Vanchakrapati Vyascha. Kripa Sindhu Devacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Have a wonderful evening. Hari Hari Bol.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Go Shri Prabhupada.
Jai
Jai
Shri.
Srila Prabhupada.